Humanity has always gazed at the stars, wondering about the mysteries that lie beyond our reach. The moon, a celestial beacon in our night sky, has captivated us for millennia. Its silvery glow has inspired countless tales, poems, and dreams. For centuries, reaching it was a distant dream, a fantasy relegated to myths and stories. Ancient civilizations mapped the stars, and philosophers pondered the moon's secrets, but it remained an unattainable goal. Then, on July 20, 1969, Apollo 11 shattered that perception. The world watched in awe as the Saturn V rocket roared to life, propelling humanity towards the unknown. Neil Armstrong's words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," resonated across the globe. His voice echoed through the vastness of space, marking a pivotal moment in human history. Millions watched, their breaths held, as humanity touched the surface of another world. Families gathered around their television sets, united in wonder and anticipation. It was a moment of unprecedented unity, a testament to our collective ambition. People from all walks of life, regardless of nationality or background, celebrated this monumental achievement together. Apollo 11 wasn't just a scientific achievement, it was a cultural touchstone. It symbolized the triumph of human spirit and ingenuity, showcasing what we can accomplish when we dare to dream big. It proved that the impossible could be achieved. The meticulous planning, the rigorous training, and the unwavering determination of the astronauts and engineers made this dream a reality. It fueled our imaginations, sparking a generation's fascination with space exploration. Children everywhere dreamed of becoming astronauts, inspired by the bravery and success of the Apollo 11 mission. But behind the triumph, were there hidden truths? The mission was fraught with uncertainties and challenges that were not always visible to the public eye. Apollo 11 was a daring gamble, a leap of faith into the unknown. Its success wasn't guaranteed. The engineers and scientists faced numerous technical hurdles, each one a potential mission-ending obstacle. It came with risks and challenges that tested the limits of human ingenuity and courage. The astronauts underwent grueling training, preparing for every possible scenario, knowing that failure was not an option. The space race was a backdrop of intense competition, but it also spurred unprecedented collaboration and innovation. The success of Apollo 11 was a beacon of hope, showing that when humanity unites for a common goal, the sky is not the limit, it's just the beginning. Today, the legacy of Apollo 11 lives on. It paved the way for future space missions, from the Mars rovers to the International Space Station. The spirit of exploration and discovery continues to drive us forward, reminding us that the next giant leap is always just around the corner. As we look up at the night sky, we are reminded of that historic moment when humanity first set foot on the moon. It serves as a powerful reminder that with determination, innovation, and unity, we can reach for the stars and beyond. Elon Musk, the visionary entrepreneur behind SpaceX, views Apollo 11 with both admiration and a hint of skepticism. He acknowledges the mission's monumental success, yet he also points out the inherent dangers and missed opportunities. Musk, known for his ambitious plans to colonize Mars, understands the complexities of space travel better than most. He emphasizes that Apollo 11 was a product of its time, constrained by technological limitations and political pressures. He highlights that the mission was a calculated risk, the technology was pushed to its absolute limit, the margin for error was razor thin. Musk believes that while Apollo 11 achieved its primary goal, landing humans on the moon, it could have gone further. He suggests that more ambitious scientific experiments and exploration objectives could have been pursued. The Lunar Module, nicknamed Eagle, was the spacecraft designed to land on the moon. This fragile-looking craft carried the weight of the world's expectations on its shoulders. However, its design, while ingenious, was also a testament to the need for weight conservation. The landing legs, for instance, were surprisingly thin and flimsy. This was a deliberate decision to minimize weight, but it meant that the module had very little margin for error during landing. A slightly uneven surface or a miscalculation could have spelled disaster. The ascent engine, responsible for lifting the astronauts off the lunar surface and back into lunar orbit, was another point of concern. This critical component had no backup. If it failed, Armstrong and Aldrin would have been stranded on the moon, their fate sealed. The risks were very real. The astronauts knew it, the engineers knew it, and President Nixon even had a contingency speech prepared in case the mission ended in tragedy. Lunar quarantine, a necessary precaution or a flawed protocol. Upon their return to Earth, the Apollo 11 astronauts were placed in quarantine for 21 days. This was a crucial precaution. The goal was to prevent the potential spread of unknown lunar microorganisms. The possibility of extraterrestrial contamination, however remote, was a serious concern. However, Musk, along with some scientists, has raised questions about the effectiveness of this quarantine. Studies have suggested that the protocols, while well-intentioned, may have had flaws. There were concerns, for instance, that the lunar samples brought back to Earth were not handled and contained with the utmost rigor. Additionally, there were instances where the astronauts interacted with individuals before the quarantine period had ended, potentially compromising the isolation. While no harmful lunar organisms were ever discovered, the episode highlights the unknowns inherent in space exploration. It underscores the need for stringent protocols to safeguard our planet from potential biological threats from space. The space race, a battle for supremacy. To fully grasp the significance of Apollo 11, we must understand the historical context in which it occurred. The 1960s were a time of intense rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union, a period marked by the Cold War. This was not just a political and military standoff, but also a competition for technological and ideological supremacy. The mission was not simply a scientific endeavor. It was a crucial battle in the Cold War space race between the United States and the Soviet Union. Each nation sought to prove its superiority not just on Earth, but in the vast expanse of space. Throughout the 1950s and 60s, both superpowers poured immense resources into space exploration. The stakes were incredibly high as each side believed that dominance in space would translate to global influence and power. Each spectacular launch, each new milestone, was a propaganda victory. The world watched in awe as rockets soared into the sky, and each success was broadcast as a testament to the technological and ideological superiority of the nation behind it. The Soviets initially took the lead, launching Sputnik 1, the first artificial satellite, in 1957. This was a monumental achievement that sent shockwaves around the world, signaling the dawn of a new era in space exploration, and sending Yuri Gagarin, the first human in space, into orbit in 1961. Gagarin's successful mission was a major triumph for the Soviet space program and a significant blow to American pride and ambition. These Soviet successes were a shock to the United States. The American public and government were acutely aware of the implications of falling behind in the space race. It was not just a matter of national pride, but also of national security. President John F. Kennedy responded by setting the audacious goal of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth before the end of the decade. This bold declaration galvanized the nation and set NASA on a course to achieve what many thought was impossible. Apollo 11 was the culmination of this national effort. Years of research, development, and countless hours of work by thousands of scientists, engineers, and astronauts led to this historic mission. It represented the pinnacle of American ingenuity and determination. The mission's success was a resounding victory for the United States, demonstrating its technological prowess and reaffirming its position as a global leader. Neil Armstrong's famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," echoed around the world, symbolizing the triumph of human spirit and innovation. It marked a turning point in the space race, shifting the balance of power in favor of the United States. The success of Apollo 11 not only fulfilled Kennedy's ambitious goal, but also inspired generations to come, proving that with vision, dedication, and hard work, even the most daunting challenges can be overcome. Michael Collins, the forgotten astronaut? While Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked on the moon, making history with their iconic moonwalks and planting the American flag, their crewmate, Michael Collins, orbited above in the command module Columbia. He was the unsung hero of the mission, ensuring everything ran smoothly from above. His role, though less celebrated, was no less critical. Without his vigilance and expertise, the mission could have faced dire consequences. For 21 hours, Collins circled the moon alone, a solitary sentinel in the vast expanse of space, his only companion the hum of the spacecraft. The isolation was profound, yet he remained focused and composed. For 48 minutes of each orbit, he would disappear behind the moon, entering a realm of complete silence, losing contact with both Earth and his fellow astronauts. This period of radio silence was a test of his nerves and resilience. His primary task was to ensure the command module remained operational. He meticulously monitored the systems, ready to address any issues that might arise. It was the astronauts' lifeline, their only means of returning home. The command module was a marvel of engineering, but it required constant attention. A single malfunction could have stranded them in lunar orbit. Collins's expertise and calm demeanor were crucial in preventing any such disaster. A single malfunction could have stranded them in lunar orbit. Collins's expertise and calm demeanor were crucial in preventing any such disaster. However, some speculate that Collins's mission may have involved more than meets the eye. There are whispers of secret tasks and hidden agendas. There are theories, fueled by Musk's hints, that suggest he may have been tasked with classified observations or experiments. These speculations add an air of mystery to his already fascinating story. That suggests he may have been tasked with classified observations or experiments. These speculations add an air of mystery to his already fascinating story. Whether these theories hold any weight remains a subject of debate. Experts and enthusiasts alike continue to ponder the true extent of Collins's mission. What is certain is that Collins played an indispensable role in the success of Apollo 11, ensuring the safe return of his fellow astronauts. His contribution is vital as those of his moonwalking companions. His dedication and skill were instrumental in making the mission a triumph. Michael Collins may not have walked on the moon, but his journey was no less significant. He remains a true hero of space exploration, a testament to the power of teamwork and perseverance.